Hey, Story Pillar friends. It's me, Meg, Grown-Ups. Snake, Bean, Sparky, and I are super excited to announce that we'll be back for Season 4 of Story Pillar on Monday, April 7th, 2025. So mark your calendars, grab some rainbow glitter confetti, and get your ears ready for a whole new season of stories, silliness, and sticky situations. See you in April!
Hey, it's me, Bean. I'm a butterfly. I wear a yellow hat. Oh, and since it's February now, everything's kind of covered in icicles, and I feel like I'm stuck in a ginormous ice age freezer or something. Like I'm a big blue popsicle with wings. So, how's the weather where you live? Whoever said they're eating actual popsicles and making pizza-shaped sandcastles on the beach, I'm coming over, as soon as I can feel my toes again. Anyway, thanks for joining us for this week's Story Sip. That's when we, take another listen to one of your favorite stories from Season 3 of Story Pillar while we're putting the finishing touches on Season 4. So, if you're not, happily hanging out on the beach right now, maybe pull up a heater and a bathtub full of hot chocolate, and let's snuggle up for another listen to Operation Clawzilla from full episode 3.2. Ready? Okay, here we go.
Operation Clawzilla by Meg Lewis, adapted from an Acadiana folktale.
Look out, lead-wags, whirlwings coming through. No!
Stomp shrieked and swept a wing over the rocks officially designated as headquarters.
Ugh, knock it off, Spike. You're gonna ruin the blueprint.
She scowled at the white puffball careening through the water, her friend's race car impression filling the freshly planted rice paddy with deafening screeches and roars.
Blueprints? More like brown prints, get it? 'Cause now they're covered in mud and mud's brown. Whoa, look out!
Spike jerked an imaginary steering wheel and sent another wave crashing onto the marshy bank.
Hey, seriously, stop it! Ugh.
Stomp wiped away the droplets, smearing her carefully drawn plans into blurry inkworms.
The full moon's tonight, which means we only have,
She squinted at the eyeball-melting sun.
How much time again, Soup?
A long beak, the exact shape of a soup ladle, sprouted from a jumble of homemade rope.
5 hours, 18 minutes, and 39 seconds before the terrible, mutant, gigantomongous mother of all crawdads tickles the feathers off every bird in the swamp and feeds them to her 10 gajillion babies. Dun, dun, dun.
Soup forced her eyes as wide as donuts and waggled her fluffy pink wings.
Exactly, pretty much no time at all. Spike!
Stomp ducked as Spike sloshed to a stop and unbuckled his sardine can racing helmet.
Hey, are you even listening? If we want to actually catch Clawzilla this year,
Spike shook out his fluffy white mohawk and struck a pose.
And be heroes and have the whole flock sing songs about us and shower us with a lifetime supply of cheese doodles and soggy donuts.
Ew, no.
Anyway, stop splashing swamp juice all over the blueprints and help us figure this out. Ugh, you're not a race car driver. You're an egret. More like a speed grit. Get it? 'Cause I'm so fast. Whoosh, you've been whirlwind.
Stomp flopped face first onto a patch of spider lilies.
Forget it. Well, just hold your hedgehogs a sec, 'cause this is gonna be epic. There.
Soup popped a final gear into place with a spidery pink foot and scrabbled to the top of her creation.
Behold, the crawdadapult. Dun, da, da, da. Key component of Operation Clawzilla, the one and only 1,000,000% foolproof giant mutant crawdad catching plan in the history of the birdiverse.
She spread her rosy wings wide and sent a shower of excited spoonbill spittle directly into her friends' upturned faces.
Ew.
Spike scratched his skinny beak and frowned at what seemed to be an oversized tennis racket glued to the bottom of the world's biggest trash can.
Are we gonna throw Clawzilla and her babies in the garbage? Ugh.
Stomp tugged him down onto the ground beside her. No, Spike, just hush your fish lips and listen.
Okay, here's the plan.
The curve of Soup's bill traced the sprawling diagram.
At 10:23 p.m., when the moon is exactly 11 degrees below its zenith,
She tapped a doodle of 3 birds tiptoeing around the swamp in ninja masks.
meet here at Fishfly Dock, at which point you... Ow!
She jabbed her beak within a centimeter of her friend's eyeball.
Will, borrow Miss Antoinette's fishing boat.
Spike thumped his fishy helmet and revved an imaginary engine.
Whirlwind can drive anything. Well, good, because somehow you have to lure Clawzilla and her creepy little sidekicks from here all the way to the crawdadapult over here, where...
She gave Stomp a half bow, where I will shine the swamp lamp 2000X directly into Clawzilla's giant beady eyeballs. She tapped a sketch of a small brown duck riding a flashlight the size of a semi-truck. Temporarily stun her and drive her into the fishing nets laid out here and here. Soup skipped over, twitching like a large pink cricket.
At which point, Monster Mom and Baby Beast will fall into the crawdadapult, and with a little whammo surprise, blam! Ah! Splat! Will belly flop into the sea precisely 117.26 miles away.
Stomp leapt up and grabbed her friends by the wings.
Woo-hoo! Operation Clawzilla with the win! See you never leave our feathers. See you never leave our feathers. Woo-hoo!
The 3 masterminds whirled and giggled and eventually collapsed in a fluffy, sweaty heap. Stomp flopped onto her back. Not like last year. Spike's face sprouted from a clump of dandelions.
Last year? You mean when you ran across the entire pond screaming that Clawzilla was eating your feathers, but it was really just Miss Antoinette's cow that thought you were a bush, and then everyone called you Cowzilla and mooed at you for like a month? Ow!
His giggle morphed into a yelp
Bite.
as Soup nipped him hard on the tail. Stomp sat her shoulders and got to her feet. No, it's okay, Soup. Cowzilla was last year. Her eyes swept over the sturdy homemade catapult standing tall in the sun. This year, Stompzilla, Whirlwing, and the Super Soup are in town, and we're not going home empty-handed. Soup? Spike? Was that you? Stomp jabbed her beak into a snoring mound of feathers and felt the first worms of fear wiggle awake in her belly. The plump moon glittered across her friends' wings as they flopped over sideways and nearly squashed a sleeping bullfrog. Great, so much for sidekicks. She was halfway through an eye roll when a screech cut through the chirping crickets like a hot knife through butter. Stomp dove into a mud puddle and pretended to be a fluffy rock. Holy shrimp shoes, that sounded close. She scanned the stubbly rice shoots for any sign of giant feather-hungry crawdads and gasped at a flash of ghostly blue. That's definitely not a cow. Her knees rattled like a tin full of nails as the aquamarine glow grew steadily stronger. Shoot! And a second eerie call rippled through the pond.
She made a sloshy beeline for the crawdadipult. Whirlwind! Super Soup! Wake up! She's here! Operation Clawzilla is a go! And, of course, the frantic duck immediately tripped over a lily pad, landed face first in the mud, and came eyeball to eyeball with Clawzilla herself. Stomp scuttled backward, and the massive, shimmering beast stretched a school bus-sized claw in her direction. She shrieked and curled herself into a tiny ball of duck as a stream of turquoise baby crawdads poured from their mother's tail and slid toward her through the shallow water. No. Please don't tickle my feathers off. I need them for, very important duck stuff. Every bone in her body crackled with fear as Clawzilla's peanut-sized minions swarmed over her, chittering and chirping and running their claws through her feathers like tiny, glowing combs. Holy hush puppies! Are you cleaning me? Her beak flopped open like a stunned pelican's. Don't you want to eat my feathers? She bent to examine a plump little crawdad balanced on the edge of her wing. But the busy creature simply stuffed a bug into its mouth and scurried off in search of another tasty snack. Guess now. She felt the last trace of fear melt away under her tiny groomer's skittering feet. Just then, Clawzilla opened her fishy beak wide enough to swallow the moon whole and crooned the strangest, most beautiful melody Stomp had ever heard. Wow! The frog sighed, the cattail swayed, and the entire marsh pulsed with her song, as if the stars had lost their grip on the sky and were now floating atop the gentle waves. Stomp nearly fell on her face again as she watched the glistening giant pirouette through the rice stalks, fresh sprouts springing up behind her and quickly growing to the height of sunflowers. She felt the not-so-creepy baby's feet tap in rhythm with their mother's song before jumping down into the mud to continue their work elsewhere. Hey, where y'all going? They shot off into the liquid shadows, tidying twigs and gobbling pests. They took mere seconds to repair a step hanging from Fishfly Dock and even herded a sleepwalking duckling back to its nest before tucking it in with a twitchy kiss. Stomp flapped out a happy dance, large blue feet churning like windmills. You're not monsters, you're clawrific! I can't wait to tell Spike and Sue.
Nighty-night, feather fiend. Get ready to be whirlwind.
Oh no! Her head snapped up as an actual motor roared the swamp awake and a silver boat carrying 2 screaming puffballs shot into view. Stomp scrambled to the top of the crawdadipult. No! Stop! We were wrong! They're just trying to help! Soup clattered to the front of the speeding boat and shone the largest flashlight known to bird kind directly into Clawzilla's eyes.
Let our friend go, you big, mean mom!
The frightened creature raised a claw and scuttled backwards into the waiting nets, becoming instantly tangled.
Ooh, she's in the net! Get the thing! Hit the thing!
Spike swung the boat to a stop, and Soup dove for the launch lever. No, wait! Stomp picked at the knots snarled around her very large new friend. Clawzilla slashed a claw through the air directly above the duck's furiously working beak.
Ah! Look out! You're about to be a ducky dinner! No!
Stomp's friend's locked wings let out a war cry and flew through the air.
Ah!
Stomp leapt, grunting like a billy goat, as Spike and Soup bounced off her chest and landed with a splat in the mud.
Ow.
Her feathers heaved as she stood tall atop one giant blue claw. Didn't you hear me? I said no. You need to trust me. Me, who's been your friend for like the last cajillion years. Look around. She swept a wing over the tranquil swamp and the sky-high rice stalks, Clawzilla did this. All of this. A small glowing figure scurried out from the shadows and waved a tiny indignant claw. Sorry, she had a little help. So they, don't eat feathers? Spike sucked in a breath as a baby crawdad scurried across his face. They don't terrorize the swamp, they take care of it. Soup stretched out a wing and watched a dozen tiny Zillas race about like miniature, many-legged vacuums.
This kind of tickles.
Behind them, Clawzilla moaned, and Stomp turned and stroked her shell. And so now it's our turn to take care of her, okay? She eyed her friend's minuscule cleaning crew winking like jewels in their pink and white feathers. So, will you help me cut her free? Spike snapped his razor-sharp beak.
Pit crew captain Whirlwing and team reporting for duty.
Rum, rum, rum.
Ooh, wait a sec.
Soup dove into the boat's tool bench.
Okay, Super Soup's ready to cut loose.
She brandished a pair of needle-nosed pliers.
Literally. Get out of there.
She dug a baby Zilla out of her nostril. Okay, people, look alive. Stomp snapped off a sharp blade of sawgrass. She smiled at the birds and pint-sized crawdads spread out before her and thrust her makeshift scissors into the air. Let the real Operation Clawzilla begin.
Pit crew, rev your engines.
The end.
Get out of my wingtip.
Hold on there, Mama Zilla. Almost done.
I'm not sure if I'd want tiny mutant crayfish climbing all over my face and licking me clean either, but at least they turned out not to be evil. Anyway, it's almost time for season 4 of Story Pillar. Yippee, skippy, zippy! Sneak's just a little bit excited.
You can say that again, sister.
We'll have one more story sip for you next Monday, February 24th, and then we'll be back with our first round of brand sparkling new episodes on Monday, April 7th, 2025. And since we'll miss you a lot, we'll make sure to check in mid-March to give you a sneak peek or a sneak listen to what we're working on.
A sneaky peeky wiki.
Sneak, get out of my episode.
You get out of my episode.
In the meantime, grown-ups, you can follow @StoryPillar on Instagram, poke around storypillar.com, or shoot an email to info@storypillar.com if you just want to say hey. We actually love hearing from all of you. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks for taking another listen to Operation Clawzilla with me. Sneak will be here next Monday with our last story sip, and then I guess I'll see you in April. Bye. I'll miss you. Oh, and come back next week if you want to.